You got smart money, it's to take the Sixers to cover the spread, whatever it is, because it's the Celtics, and whenever you play an injured team, they're going to cover the spread, right, Cody?
I may or may not have taken the Sixers plus 11.5 tonight.
Yeah, seems like pretty easy with the Celtics.
I mean, it's the classic win-win, right? I mean, I'll lose $10. That's $10. I do well. Who cares? At least the Celtics will have blown out the Sixers again.
Oh, that's the way to do it. Because even sometimes I think of that like with money line, but it isn't even a win-win if you just beat like a sorry team by like. Obviously, it is. It's always a win to get a win, but like you're saying, it's like just a tight win, and then you get the bet too is perfect. Because even the tight victories against bad teams don't feel that good on the Celtics side.
No, I mean we just had one,
Yeah, exactly.
but that is not important or as important as what transpired over the course of 2 hours last night. In the middle of the night, everybody winding down on a Saturday, we get the shams bomb of all shams bombs. Luka Doncic got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis and a 2029 first round pick, and Jalen Hood-Schifino was sent to the Jazz for whatever reason.
Make the money work is what it was, really.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I mean that's whatever.
Danny Ainge was like, hell yeah, I can get some second round draft picks. Like, I'll do that every day because I love draft picks because I'm Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge is just the puppet master. Somehow
If you
that
want this to
second pick is
work,
going to
you need
matter.
me.
That second round pick is going to be something.
Oh,
I
for
don't know
sure.
what it is, but that guy, he has a plan. Yeah, I mean, what the hell? I guess Max Christie went to the Mavs, which is not nothing because he actually was having a good year. Obviously, Anthony Davis going to the Mavs to play with his bud Kyrie. Yeah, first initial impressions. Let's go.
I was just, it's a trade. When I heard it, I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, Kyrie and AD, Luka and LeBron, like that's fun. But at the same time, it's like neither one of these trades is going to be beneficial this year.
You don't think?
Like the Mavs have no small forwards anymore. Like they have a big gap in scoring now. They just lost 30 points a game going forward. You have injury prone AD now. You have injury prone Kyrie now. And
Both are
then
having like the best season of their career. Like they're both really good.
yeah, they're both really good. But I mean, like we both know they get injured at the worst times.
Also, hasn't been an injury for either of them in a long time, at least a season.
No, it's been one season, but like let's look at the history of them. Like it tells you there's going to be an injury coming up at some point. But
I mean,
you look,
that's very cynical.
you're just realist. I mean, like Anthony Davis played 70 games last year. Like I don't think he's ever done that in his career. Don't expect him to do that again at 31 years old.
Yeah, you're trading for a 31-year-old big man with an injury history, like has had injuries. It's not a solid bet.
And he's on
If you're
contract
Ron.
till he's 34 too. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna be paying 34-year-old Anthony Davis, and then you look at the Lakers side. I mean, yeah, it's like Luka and LeBron is sick, but like they we thought the same thing about Russell Westbrook and LeBron. Like if you play a similar style as LeBron, where you need the ball in your hands to get everything to work, it's not really gonna work. Like it's kind of tough, but it's gonna be good for games where LeBron sits. You're gonna have Luka out there, hopefully, if he can get healthy soon. Like I'm really
I
hoping.
mean, the Lakers. I don't care if you think the fit's a fit or not. You say yes to that deal.
Oh no,
That
no,
is,
I'm just saying for this year it doesn't make sense, but like your future is locked. Like
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
have like in 3 years you're gonna have 28-year-old Luka Doncic, assuming he resigns there. LeBron's gonna be gone. We assume at that point in 3 years. So you're gonna have Luka Doncic in his prime, who's gonna be learning the game under LeBron, who's probably the only guy in the league who's smarter than Luka Doncic when it comes to basketball. Like it's gonna be the Lakers are gonna have their future completely set. You're looking at this a couple weeks ago, looking at the Lakers' future. You're thinking like, all right, well, LeBron's gone. What are they going to do? They're going to have to go back into a rebuild. But now you got Luka to start a rebuild around.
And things were pretty dismal because they didn't have a ton of they have even less of their picks. They didn't have a ton of in the treasure trove to look forward to. I mean, Max Christie was about the only bright spot on this team at the time. I don't think they're. I do think if they do another move, and I'll coach it with that, I think they're actually something to worry about.
Dude,
Like,
they didn't even give all their picks. Like they still have a pick to move. You thought they would have to exhaust everything for this trade. They still kind of have like a pick to trade.
That's where it's like the fucking conspiracy theory type shit. Like, I kind of buy it. Like, really? Like, only a 20? You didn't even ask for, like, I don't know, Jesus, like Christian Coloco or something. Like, you could have asked for anything.
Dude, one thing. I mean, like, obviously, I don't love the Lakers getting their new cornerstone like that, but it's like now they're the two most interesting teams in the league by far. It's obviously Luka and Braun. That's gonna be fun as hell to see. I mean, if they play together, who knows if something else is in the pipeline? But then like you have the Mavs, where it's kind of just like a team of career second options, where it's like Kyrie and AD in their best form are second options. Then you have Clay too, and then we don't even know if like how like we don't know if the Gafford and Lively work so well because of Luka either. Like how is the lob game gonna look now? Like I feel like that can't be missed. Like who knows? Like like obviously Kyrie has some gravity, but the Luka gravity, like who knows if that's what's like really made the like Gafford came into his own. Like he was decent on the Wizards, and obviously it has to do with age, but it's like kind of it's almost like teams going to Jokic and then leaving. Who knows if that has the same effect with these like role players that just have kind of exploded on the Mavericks? I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting.
I mean, I don't think the Mavs are done. I think they are now locked in. Like, Lively probably won't be on the team in a few weeks. Like, they have the wing, like, go get Paul George, see if you can get Kevin Durant on the line, something.
Tobias Harris. Don't get Paul George. Tobias Harris is playing better on a less contract.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kevin Durant and Paul George and Tobias Harris are not these things are not the same things. But like you need a win.
Dude, I'd say the scariest thing of all this is that now there's a foreseeable future where Jokic is on the Lakers.
No, I don't see that happening. I don't see
Dude,
them ever giving him.
It's not. I mean, it's not happening for like 4 more years, but because
but
Jokic just signed his deal.
end
I
of his
see
career
Luka
though,
going to the Nuggets before I see Jokic leaving the Nuggets.
we'll see. I don't know, man. They just want to play together, obviously, though.
Yeah, they do, and I think that's why he would go to Denver because he's already been traded. He doesn't have an allegiance to a team anymore.
Yeah, maybe. It's just it's more of a possibility now. I can definitely see that, but yeah, I just don't want the Lakers getting more. That's for sure.
I mean, there's no way they need a center. They need to do something. Whether it be get like Steven Adams or get, I don't know, see if Joel Embiid's available. Like I just don't think this trade, obviously it moves the needle for everybody because it's a mega star getting traded. But like in terms of contendership, I don't see this as a Celtics fan. It doesn't really, each team has like a very fatal flaw. So like they don't really concern me in a 7-game series because I feel like now it's probably going to be either one in the finals.
Yeah, it's like the Mavs are in win now mode with this trade, but they clearly can't win now with this trade. Like they have to do something else. But yeah. No, it's obviously the Lakers really aren't that scary. I mean, obviously, unless they pull some other wizard play and get someone else like conspiracy mode do something else that like baffling for the other team type trade. But yeah, you're right. It's more of that I'm just sad that I had just thought that they would have another tanking era. I thought we'd have another Dark Ages for the Lakers, like, but nope, no Dark Ages, no 3-year number 2 pick spree again. It's like, I mean, obviously if Luka goes down for like a season, that'd be rough, but looks like they have a plan after LeBron, which was really not the case. That's for damn sure before this.
It's also interesting that LeBron has said he's now staying with the team because the minute it happened, people were like, is LeBron aware? And he wasn't. And it's like, well, if he's not aware, does this mean that like the Lakers finally smartened up? They're like, hey, LeBron, we're like gonna tank around Luka for now, and then we're gonna get rid of you. You need to waive your no trade clause. We'll send you to Golden State, and that was like the rumor. But he's staying with the team, and also unrelated, but sort of related to that. This trade, in terms of importance of the league right now, it's like now nobody can say anybody's untradeable. Nobody is untradeable.
We talked about this so many times about who were the untradeable guys in the league, and it was always Luka, Tatum, LeBron, and Jokic, and those were the only 4 that we could ever come up with being untradeable.
I mean, Wemby's untradeable.
I think that we talked about this before. I think that was like probably his rookie year we talked about this, so maybe we we were kind of on the fence about whether he was untradeable because you got to see what he is first. I mean, like obviously we thought that he was going to be great, but you never know. He could have been a bust and he could have gotten traded. But as it stands, you had 5 guys now that were essentially untradeable, and now Luka's gone. It was also terrible by the Mavs by the Mavs because they didn't even call anybody else. The only person they talked to was the Lakers. So
you can't call somebody else. You
gotta
have
put-
this
you gotta
has to
put
be.
You got to put it out there that he's available so you can actually get something for him. Because like right now, you got Anthony Davis in a first-round pick for a top 5 player in the league.
Theirs
That's terrible.
Yes, they should have called other people, absolutely, but they can't. You can't just be like, "Hey, we're shopping Luka around." You can't. That can't come out.
Yeah, you can. Why couldn't it happen? Like, right now, you just traded him in the middle of the night for fucking scraps. You could have got way better than that for him.
Yes, you could have got way better, but you can't do it because he's just like, what if you don't do it? What if you don't trade him? And then he's just like, okay, well, now I'm definitely fucking leaving. You guys were thinking about trading me. I never said I wanted to be out of here.
Look at the trade that they made for him, though. Like, it wasn't like they got great pieces. Like, you got Anthony Davis in a first-round pick. Like, in 2028, you're going to have Kyrie Irving's going to be 35, Anthony Davis is going to be 34, and you don't own that draft pick anymore.
I mean, I just can't. It seems to me that you think it's just like malpractice and incompetence on the Mavericks side. Yeah, but like this, 100%. But this is the same team that like
they were just in the finals last year, and you just decided to trade your best player for Anthony Davis.
But like they've made good moves. They made like smart moves to get to the finals last year. It's not like it's. I just have a hard time thinking it's
a dumb move to blow it all up. Like we've seen teams make dumb moves all the time.
I know, but I just have a hard time thinking that it's like
you can't give them.
They don't have a grand vision.
This is a good pick, a good move because of their track record. Like look at the move that was made.
No. I guess I'm not trying to say it's a good pick in any way. I'm not trying to bail them out on this one, but I'm trying to explain a reason why they shouldn't have just like, hey, we're marketing Luka. There's a reason there
for another year. So like you could have marked. You can't leave anyways.
What if he? Yeah, but what's he going
to do? Sit all year next year and then like not play? Like he's still going to be available to get traded next year, and they're going to say, "Hey, cool, the number just went up because now he's even healthier because he didn't play last year."
But they don't want to lose him, or they didn't. You shouldn't want to have lost him.
Well, they got rid of him, so like apparently they wanted to get rid of him. But they didn't even call anybody else. They took the first offer they got, so they wanted him out of there.
I know they got rid of him, Steve. What I'm saying is that you can't have that appearance. Huh?
Like, and if he's under contract again next year, then like he's not going to walk for free.
You don't know that. You can't say that. You can't say that you know that.
The team's going to pay for Luka Doncic next year. They're not going to wait for free agency to see if he comes there. So even if you shopped him this year and you didn't trade him, next year he's still under contract. They could have shopped him again and traded him then. And no team is going to be like, no, we're going to sit on our 30 or 29 other teams are not going to sit on their hands and say, no, we're not going to trade for Luka. We're going to wait for a year to see if he comes here in free agency. They're all going to say, all right, let's get him in the building. Let's get him in our system. Let's show him that we want to win.
I don't think we're having
not make another call and just take the first offer like that.
I disagree. And I think it's for the reasons that I mentioned. It's just, there's no way that can be, there has to be something else to it.
There's probably something else about Luka that we don't know, and that's why they did it this way. But like if Luka is just, they said he was fat and out of shape is why.
Apparently he's weighing like 270.
38 and 8 at night, like sick.
And he went to the finals last year. How fat is he? Like, is he
just like the fourth best player in the league as a fatty? So like, cool.
Deal with him. He's the 5th heaviest. You see, he's the 5th heaviest in the league. I saw, and he's 6'7".
That is tough, though. Yeah, that is tough. But I mean, that just means he's like Gershon Yabusele.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, I mean, obviously he was an athletic specimen. It's not that comparable. But LeBron was probably top 5 weight in his prime weight on the Heat. But no, the
HGH LeBron. Yeah.
But we know it's not. No, LeBron looked like fucking Superman. Yeah, Luka looks like just me, like Steve out there. Me and Steve.
That's like DK Metcalf being as heavy as a lineman and comparing them. But one element. It also one thing that wasn't as like known before, or it was known, but just one thing that's coming out of it that seems like is a motivating factor. Well, the Mavs seem like they made the call, obviously, to the Lakers just for like they had AD completely in mind. Like that's the only player they seemed like they wanted. So it's like that. I think that's also why they did this. I think like Kyrie's buddies with him, and also Nico Harrison is buddies with him. Like the GM is buddies with Anthony Davis because he did the Nike deal with him, and they've been together at Nike since So I think it was more of like the Mavs just wanting AD that bad, and then they should have asked for more from the Mavericks, but it seemed like they were just like, let's just trade Luka for AD. And yeah, I don't. And Nico Harrison, did you see the other Nike lore that's like explaining that he's just not a good negotiator? Like
I
with the
guess
whole,
so.
He blew the
did you see
Steph
the Steph?
Curry deal.
Yeah, I was about to say
That
the
was
Steph Curry
so
thing.
bad.
It's like, yeah, by the way, this is the guy that showed Steph Curry the wrong presentation and made him sign with Under Armour. Like, this is the dude who fumbled that generationally bad pitch.
I tell you what, if any of that is true, then yes, Steve, that is fucking malpractice. That's nuts. But I have a hard time. Like, one, you shouldn't cowtail to Kyrie. You have the 25-year-old super phenom. Kyrie is 32 years old. Like, he's
Kyrie
not
was
gonna.
the one who should have traded out of the two of them. That's why I think this is like.
Yeah, you don't. If you have to pick the sides, you don't pick Kyrie's side.
Also, just
If they
put,
did,
more
which
pieces around.
it seems like they did, that is malpractice.
Should
But
have
and
traded
also,
either Gafford or Lively. They shouldn't have traded Luka or Kyrie.
why did they have to trade anybody? I think they were going to be fine. Like
I think they wanted to tweak it a little bit more because like you're still one step away from the finals last year. Like it wasn't really even a competition. The finals against us last year. I think they wanted to. Like,
yeah, but
scorer,
you could also
another defender on the court to help out Luka. I think that's what they wanted. But
yeah,
It
but you
could have
could
been
also just
Clay
be
5
like
years ago.
you also like you can just be like, yeah, but they have Porzingis. Like, who knows what that's going to look like? Jaylen Brown has not looked like Jaylen Brown of last year at all. Like, yeah, I mean, maybe it is just fucking, he's the worst of the worst. Like, that is fucking insane.
The Mavs could have had a future of Luka, Brunson, and KP.
I don't think they could have had Brunson and Luka on the same court.
Hudson was okay with signing with them, but they just lowballed the shit out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think the same with Kyrie, but it worked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair enough.
But I don't think either wins a championship, to be honest.
I mean, I think I think Kyrie operates better off the ball than
Brunson would be Brunson if he was playing with Luka still, though. I don't think that he would have been seeing the numbers that he's doing now.
Yeah, like would Brunson be Brunson if he stayed on the Mavs and was relegated to that secondary ball handler? I mean, that's a sliding doors moment. We'll never know. But, you know, it worked. It certainly worked out for Jaylen in the Knicks.
Dude, it's just so crazy. This feels like basically like they saw like that they didn't give up on Dirk after the 06 finals, and they're like, see how it worked out for us? And they're just like, let's not do that again. Like they got kind of embarrassed like a couple times in the playoffs even. Like had some worse moments, if anything. Like the Maverick they got like beat as the 1 seed in the first round 1 the 1 year, I think, and then the year after, or I think that was the year after they lost in the finals. And then they just stayed with them and won with the weird team down the line. And then they could have done that again.
Nobody alive is happier today than Dirk Nowitzki because all his records are saved. He is still the number one Mav of all time. Like, you know, nobody has a bigger fucking shit eating grin than that German dude, Dirk, right there. So, yeah, I mean, it's fucking crazy. I mean, there's so many things we could just talk about this for hours, but like what do you think? I guess, are they done? Are both teams done? Like, is something else going to happen here? Is something big? Is something just like a medium move going to happen? What do you think?
I mean, if the Mavs aren't done, they need to win now. Because like I said, the next 3 years, like you're going to be paying 34 and 35-year-old Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, and you don't have your draft pick for that year either. So like, even if you suck with those two and they're both injury prone, you're not going to get anything out of it. So you better win now and you better make another move because they need some wing scoring on that team, like bad.
Who would you look towards if you were the Mavs? Like if you just had a fantasy pick, not pick, but like who's your number one Marlin you want to slay out there?
Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But like, how do you get him though? Like, you need to trade Kyrie for him, probably.
Well, no, yeah, you would never do that.
With Kyrie again. Like now that we're thinking about it.
I think
he
they're
tried
fine.
that once. It didn't work out very well.
I think we're fine.
On the court, they were fine, but I think that he was just tired of Kyrie missing all those games that year. He decided he didn't want to get a fucking vaccine. Like, there was all kinds of headaches. He was just sitting out for no reason. Like, I think that he just doesn't want to go through that headache again.
That's true.
Although Kyrie has been a model citizen in Dallas since he moved there, but
you don't know about that. I mean, he just hasn't been anti-Semitic, which is cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty low fucking bar, but I mean, like he hasn't been just missing games to miss games like he was with Brooklyn. He wasn't just like skipping out on practices. Like it's.
We better not have another pandemic.
Do you go for Jimmy Butler if you're the Mavs? The price is low.
I was thinking that. Like, they'd obviously need more shooting, but that'd be a wing.
I think he's from the Texas area, too. I think he probably would enjoy going back to Dallas.
Dude, yeah. I don't know. Obviously a wing.
That would actually be that wouldn't be a bad team at all. You got Kyrie, Jimmy Butler, and Anthony Davis.
What? Maybe DeMar DeRozan if the Kings are really going crazy.
It depends on what you give up, though, with those guys. If you go get Kevin Durant, it's like, fuck it. We're you could have me and you out there. They're going to go deep. Yeah,
you got to give up. You're going to have to give up Gafford, probably, and Lively to get Durant.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so your bench is pretty shot, so you better hope that all three of them stay healthy.
You have movable assets. You have a PJ Washington. Lively's obviously probably the number one trade chip there, but they do have capital to move to splash or to make a move for a middle guy like DeMar DeRozan
or Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant. I think
he's a guy who makes so much goddamn money though. He makes like $30 million a year. So like, how do you make that money work with what you got left?
Well, you could
Lively and Gafford under big contracts, or
all those guys are making huge.
You'd have to trade like PJ maybe,
which I think they do. The way he shot the ball in the finals,
he's been good. Yeah, no, it's tricky though because Dallas. I mean, the team wasn't in love. Didn't seem like they were that much in love with Luka this year, but they do seem like they're in love with Lively, Gafford, and PJ. So I feel like it's pretty interesting. I don't know.
Well, it's hard to be in love with Luka. He was in a boot for the whole fucking year.
Clearly, they hate his guts.
It's also just such a terrible look for the organization to come out and call the guy like fat and lazy. Like, what free agent wants to go there and see how you get treated on the way out? Like,
what did they?
You gotta.
They're the Red Sox, dude. There's the Red Sox move right there.
Yeah, it was a Red Sox
him on the way out.
Except we actually do sign fat fucking loads and what's his name there? The Panda.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Jesus. Yeah, that's okay in baseball. That's why baseball's fun. You got people like Big Papi, one of the best paid players ever.
Fielder.
I'll also say Max Christie is not a nothing. He is a decent, he's a player who gets legit minutes on a playoff team in the West. Like, he's not nothing. You also have the Clay money to move. Like, you have people, there's obviously, I think we're all in agreement. They need a good wing who can probably defend and shoot. So, who knows? But I don't think the Mavs are done. Now, what about the Lakers? This is more of you definitely have to make a move somewhere here because you're clearly going all in if LeBron stays and all that, and they don't have a center, but they don't have any more assets. I mean, they have 2 or 3 more first round picks. They have 3 more first round picks for the next 5 years, and you can't trade at least one of them because you can't trade back-to-back years. And they're all back. It's like 2030, 2031, 2032.
So you have 2 that you can trade. And if you want to compete this year, you need to make a trade. Like they're 24th in the league in rebounds the rebounding per game, and you just got rid of Anthony Davis, who's probably your best rebounder. You were 13th in the league in points per game given up, and you got rid of your best defender. So I know that the offense is going to look really good. It's probably going to be clunky for a little bit, but once they figure out how to work LeBron and Luka together, the offense is going to look really good, but you're not going to be able to stop paper bag on the other side.
You trade Austin Reeves for Walker Kessler.
Yeah, and Kessler's on his rookie contract.
Reeves could be on the fucking way out.
I mean, they also have Rui Hachimura making $35 million, not a year, but overall, you do have some money to move. And Jared Vanderbilt, but I mean they have to get Walker Kessler's good. You could get 2 or a center and a wing who defend well. But I just have this feeling if I'm the Lakers, I'm on the horn with the Sixers being hey, Joel Embiid, what's his deal? How is he looking? Can we get him to is he available? Because if I'm the Sixers, I'm basically praying that I get that phone call from the Lakers because I can get out of this awful contract that they just signed with Embiid, this anchor contract.
Well, why not be the one to make the call then?
Maybe they are. Maybe because it's another thing where you can't be yeah, this guy's available, but this guy isn't available, but he's available. You can't have that out for your stars. This is circling back to the conversation we were just having.
Yeah, they're
But
not winning with him there anyway, so why not just get rid of the fucking guy?
well, I mean, yeah, the Mavs they definitely did. They said they felt the same way because Luka was never getting his conditioning was a real problem. They said so. They don't believe he's the guy.
That's a cop-out. That guy just dragged you to the finals last year. Like, who else on that team was playing well? Kyrie. He dragged them to the finals last year.
I know. It's a fucking bananas move, but
that's Nico Harrison just being bad at his job and trying to make an excuse for why they traded him and he didn't call anybody else.
But now they got to pray and hope that the Lakers don't do anything or Luka doesn't win one because you're gonna look. This is gonna age like fucking milk.
Somebody said that we can't make fun of Lakers Twitter anymore for photoshopping random players onto their team because it's actually happening.
Never again. Yeah, never again. I'll do that because it's of course possible. Like the obvious one comes to mind, Tatum, because he loves Kobe and he'll play in his first real big market. I'll never say he's unavailable I'm never gonna say there's no way he never plays for somebody else.
I think after getting a championship in Boston, I think that he wants to stay in Boston.
Well, yes, that's our only hope is that he wants to stay here. We're lucky if he stays here.
I think Brown's more of a flight risk than Tatum, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, but I don't want to lose either.
There's actually a hometown team for Jalen to go to.
Dude, the thing is, Luka supposedly wanted to stay there.
Yeah, there was never any reports of him wanting to leave. He never said he wanted to get out. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, they just traded him to the first bidder.
I mean, I know we're shitting all over him because they deserve it. By that, I mean the front office of the Mavs. But there is a thought here. Like, this guy I think we're all just sort of glossing over the bubbling narrative on Luka is that he's like a James Harden type. Like, he just can't get his shit off the court together to actually go all the way. Like, and, he doesn't care enough to keep his body in shape. Like, his conditioning has always been an issue.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put him in the James Harden category because James Harden chokes in the playoffs every year and Luka averages 31 a game in the playoffs.
Yeah, but he hasn't won anything. What does that amount to?
I mean, yeah, but you could say that about Tatum and say, what was Tatum like James Harden? Because he didn't win anything until last year. Like, it's like
if the Celtics,
you can't put the floor at winning a championship to not be James Harden. Like, that's pretty wild.
If the Celtics didn't win last year, you'd be hearing that narrative.
Celtics didn't win last year. You'd be hearing a lot of shit because of how good the team was as a total, and they came up short. But
you would hear that narrative that Tatum is not a guy who can't do it.
Like, let's not act like the Celtics didn't play that weren't juggernauts last year. And if the Mavs played anybody else out of the East, they would have won last year. Like, if Tatum got hurt and then the Cavs made it to the finals, then I think that the Mavs would have wiped them. Mm-hmm. Like, I think you just ran into a terrible matchup on a team that had all elite defenders. Jaylen Brown was an absolute dog that series. I think that, like, Luka is a guy who will take you to the finals. Like, you got to have somebody else out there to help him, though. Nobody in the league has ever done it by themselves. Like, Kyrie was not enough to help him out. He played terrible that series.
I feel like we're just glossing over the talent of that Mavs team. They do have people on that team to help him.
You have your third and fourth best player can't even get their own shot off. Like, you can't throw the ball to the post to Gafford or Lively. They have to have Luka set them up. Like, PJ Washington's not out here ISOing and getting you buckets.
I mean, they got Kyrie Irving. He can't be like Luka with the physicality, but he can definitely be that guy who can dish it off.
You got one other guy who can go get their own shot on that team. Like, that wasn't a very well put together team.
I mean,
that's why I think that they should have just tweaked it a little bit and added another scorer on there. They had Clay. Like, they didn't even actually get to see what it looked like with Clay. Like, I think Clay's washed at this point. Like, I don't think he's what he was, but like, you still never got to see it.
You hope that you can get a version of Clay that's from a couple years back because his mentality is still there. He wants to win.
Yeah. So I mean,
he's still a dog.
If you had like another piece onto that team, like, you could have had a shot and you had a legit shot. Like, I think the West is more open than people think it is.
Yeah, because the teams at top have not proven it.
Yeah,
like,
so like
it's Thunder, Rockets, Grizzlies.
Yeah, like, out of the top teams, are the only ones ever actually done anything and made the finals.
Also, you would have thought this. I mean, obviously, you never know what's going on behind the scenes, but you would have thought this whole like anti-Tubby narrative would be done after Jokic 2 years ago and then Luka last year. Like, 2 years ago, Jokic dragged his team to the championship, and the whole narrative for his whole career before then was he's too overweight and to play good defense and such. He wins the championship, and then the year after, Luka drags his team. It's like I thought we were just having it proven in front of our very eyes that you can play with weight to your advantage like that.
Yeah, we're only saying that because he won.
Yeah.
He's now solidified. So his issue is not, Jokic is in his own category. Dončić he's been in the league since he was 18. He's been in the league a long time. I know he's only 25, but like
he's making all NBA first team since he was 20.
I know, but he hasn't won
a straight all NBA first teams. That's pretty good.
He hasn't won shit.
MVPs every year.
He hasn't won anything.
Yeah, but that's like I mean, but he made the finals at 24. That's like saying LeBron couldn't win shit in his first 6 years.
Yeah, LeBron went even longer.
He's 24 last year, Steve. Cody. He's not supposed to be doing this yet. This is what we hated about the Tatum stuff.
Does it look like Dončić plays good defense? Is ever going to play good defense? Does it look like that to you guys? Am I crazy?
I think
neither with Jokic though.
I think you play better defense if you put some people around him to help him on offense, so you don't have to do everything. Like his usage percentage is like the highest in the league every year in the playoffs.
But that's never not going to be the case.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you put somebody else around him, then it would be the case.
So this is fucking crazy to me that you think they have nothing around him.
Well, like you have Kyrie, who is a playoff choker. Like
he's a champion. What are you talking about?
Yeah, how many championships he got without LeBron James?
I don't care. This is a trite and true argument. This is like a total.
J.R. Smith is a champion. Like
but we're not. That's obviously being. That's
Come
obviously being reductive. It's J.R. Smith is not Kyrie Irving.
There's so many guys that got championships with LeBron. Like,
that's
how many of those guys got
Kyrie is not a LeBron James merchant, Steve. He's been to the finals post LeBron.
Yes, with who?
Yeah, Luka Doncic. So he's not like. But that's a piece around him.
Option.
What is your point?
He played like shit in the finals. Like,
what is your point?
Helped him out in any way in that finals.
So he's just nothing. He can get you to the finals with a really good player, but he's not good. Is what you're saying?
He's not good enough to win you a finals as your number 2 unless you have LeBron.
Oh, okay, all right.
LeBron is like another level of just floor raiser. Like, let's be real here. Like you saw what he did with the Celtics in the playoffs. He shot 1 of 17. He said that's not going to happen again. Then he shot 1 of 18 the next game. Like
this is a tired narrative.
He's not that guy.
I mean, this is a bad narrative. Bad take.
I mean,
you can definitely game plan him.
Like,
yes, you can. But you can do that with anybody. You can do that with Tatum. You can do that with a Luka. You can try and game plan them out.
But those players make you punish when you get doubled. Like, you know what I mean? Like those players like punish you when you game plan them. I don't think Kyrie does. He kind of just takes the shots again. Still, you know what I mean? I agree. It's a team of second options.
Yeah, it's Luka, and then there's a big step down, and then there's Kyrie, and then Kyrie's not good enough to win you that title as your number 2 at this point in his career, anyways. Maybe if you got like prime Kyrie a couple of years ago when he was like wasting away on the Nets, not playing basketball for some reason.
So who's number 2 on this team?
On which team?
The Lakers now, because they're both number 1 guys who have apparently are proven.
If Luka's healthy and playing at his best, it's LeBron's the number 2 at this point because of where he is in his career. But I think that they're still going to play as LeBron as their number 1 because it's...
So Kyrie being a number 2 at where he was in his career...
doesn't win you a championship.
Yeah, but neither does Luka being a 1.
Well, Luka being a 1 if you have more than fucking one other guy on the team who can get their own shot.
They're on the same team. Why does one get the excuse and not the other?
What do you mean?
They're both really good players. Obviously, Luka Doncic is a better player. But you're saying that Luka has nothing around him. Kyrie was on his team, and he is a good player, having a very good season.
You need more than one other guy who can go get a shot for you.
But why are you giving Luka so much bail and not Kyrie, the guy who has actually won a championship with a good number 1?
Because his good number 1 was LeBron James. Like, that's different. Like, you could have been out there starting on the Cleveland Cavaliers in that fucking series. They would have got a title. Like, it's LeBron James. And also, like, they also had Kevin Love on that team, too. Another guy who you can throw the ball to and go get a bucket. You had J.R. Smith, who was knocking down everything he could play off the dribble.
J.R. Smith. A guy that's definitely not any better than...
Smith or P.J. Washington?
where
If
they're
you're gonna
at.
win a title, would you rather have J.R. Smith or P.J. Washington?
I mean, they play two different positions, but
well,
yeah.
that's your fourth option on both of those teams. Like, there's levels to it. Like, you need more than one or two guys that can go get their own shot. Look at the Celtics. Celtics can play through all five guys. That's why they're the best team in the league. Like, whoever has a good matchup, you can throw them the ball. They can go.
Yeah, but there's no team like that. Other
you
than
need to
the
have at
Celtics.
least 3 or 4 guys like that to get you a title. Like, get 3 or 4 guys that can go get you buckets.
Do the Thunder have that guy? Because
no, I don't think they do. I think that's why they're going to get waxed by the Celtics.
Interesting.
Could have been with Chet. We'll see where Chet's at, but I'd say with Shea.
I think J Dub's the guy.
I was about to say Shea, J Will, and Chet, all three together would be pretty tough.
See, I haven't watched enough Oklahoma City Thunder to know if J Will can
J Dub
go get his own. Like,
J Will's the other one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is he going to go get his? Like, is he a one-on-one guy who you can, if he has a matchup, he can go exploit it?
I don't think he's good enough yet to do that.
So I think that's what you need if you're going to win a title. If you look at all the title the champions, I guess you would say. I think they all have that. Like 3 or 4 guys that can exploit a matchup and go get you something.
Interesting.
This is just off the top of my head thinking that. Like, I'm gonna have to go back and like research it. But like, if you look at like last year was the Celtics. You had 5 guys who could go get theirs. The year before that was the Nuggets. You had probably 3 guys.
They didn't have 5. Yeah, who?
You had Jamal Murray, Jokic. I probably put Michael Porter Jr. in there if he can go find his.
I don't know.
Who else was on that team, Jacob? Jacob knows all the fucking teams. I can't remember shit off of this.
Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon. You can exploit a mismatch if you ended up with a small on him or something like that. Throw it to him and go get a bucket. You know,
he definitely was doing that a lot that postseason.
That's another one of those outliers where you have Jokic on your team who's going to go down as like a top 5 player in the league, I think, one day. So
yeah, he might win his 4th MVP in 5 years.
I just don't think Jokic and Dončić should be mentioned in the same breath, other than they're both kind of tubby white guys. But
I mean, at this point, like, you can put them in the same breath as in like they're both top 5 players in the league, but there's levels to it. Like, there's Jokic, and then there's everybody else. Like, in my opinion,
yeah, I think Jokic is on his own level. I don't think anybody is like him. Like, or I mean, they like in terms of play style, whatever. But like, no, but he's just on his own tier of star.
Yeah, he's different. That's why like you can those LeBron and Jokic championships, they're kind of outliers.
I mean, Giannis did it.
Yeah, Giannis had Chris Middleton and
Drew
on that team.
True.
And then
Pat Connaughton,
Lopez on that team too.
Brook Lopez.
Well, like, there's always like a couple. You have to have more than 1 or 2 options to play through if they have a mismatch.
They also beat the Suns, which is
Yeah,
not a great.
Chris Paul tried to hurt fucking Giannis, and Giannis still remembers it and tried to fight him last night.
Yeah, I know. That was nuts.
I'm just waiting for like the day that somebody actually does swing on Chris Paul. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to take the next day off of work. I'm going to pop some champagne. Like, it's going to be a wondrous day.
Man, I mean, is there any, I'm sure we'll talk about it again in this episode. Is there any other meat on the bone? We've talked about Luka to the Lakers for 40 minutes now.
That's exciting.
Dude, the other meat, dude, it was like, if we, like, I mean, it seems like we're still going to get Butler and Fox traded, like, which would have been one of the bigger free agencies of all time. Like, two all-star players getting traded. Like this has to be already the craziest free agency. I mean, this is the first time ever that 2 previous All-NBA players were traded mid-season. You know that?
No.
First time ever. So we already have that, and then because it makes sense, like it happens in the off season, but I mean, like, has never happened like mid-year. But then we're gonna possibly have that again because Fox might have made a team, but I don't know.
Here's a question for you, Jacob. I know Fox said that he doesn't want to go to the Lakers. Does Luka go into the Lakers? Does that now change his mind? Because the thought process was always he doesn't want to go to the Lakers because their future is shit. Now you got Luka there. You know, is he
who's handling the ball then?
Yeah, was my point. I mean, yeah, maybe now it's like, okay, I'll be an off-ball guy. It's like that is definitely too many cooks in the kitchen. 3 primary ball handlers.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but you got to figure LeBron's going to be gone in a couple of years.
That's not their issue. I mean, their starting center is Jackson Hayes. That's their issue.
Yeah, he shouldn't be in the league, so fuck that guy.
I mean, what?
That guy fucking beat the shit out of his girlfriend. I think there's a video of him like pushing her down the stairs or something.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, no, he's a shit person.
I traded him. So I woke up this first thing I did was slap on 2K and play franchise mode as the Lakers. By the way, very fun team to play now. but yeah, Jackson Hayes he's off my team. I traded for Gobert, which I think would be a fucking sweet fit for them, by the way.
If they could make that work and they could actually get Gobert over there, I mean, Jesus Christ, look at that team. I mean, I know Gobert's like a trash offensive player, but when you're getting fed the rock by fucking LeBron and Luka, like I think that you can probably figure out a way to score.
Yeah, he's definitely he's a double a night.
That's another reason why the Wolves couldn't win, because you got the guys on the team that you can't feed the ball to and you can't exploit mismatches. You can put a guard on Rudy Gobert and I'd be comfortable with it.
Yeah, the Timberwolves are like, we got to work on our spacing. Let's trade Cat for Julius Randle.
Yeah. Like, let's keep Gobert, the guy that Anthony Edwards definitely doesn't like. And let's go get Julius Randle, another guy who Anthony Edwards is going to absolutely love to play with.
God, imagine if Julius Randle gets traded to the Lakers.
Are you even allowed to do that? Are you allowed to get traded twice in a year?
But imagine how much the usage rate is going to drop for Luka. It's just going to be fucking ISO ball Jew Randle
back to the Lakers to fucking go ruin them again.
That would be hilarious. I mean, yeah, holy shit. Yeah, you got I mean, Jimmy Butler's he's definitely on the move. Who knows where? Wiggins is getting eyed by the Raptors. I mean, this is going to be if not the liveliest trade deadline. If the trade deadline ended tomorrow, this is the liveliest trade deadline of all time. Like, this is the most live talk. It will be the most talked about for years. And not to mention, I think we're going to see some other really big names. Like, the gravity of this move is what is awesome to me. The repercussions of this move will be felt for a decade, like years and years to come.
The ripple effect is going to be crazy with this one. It's going to be like that butterfly effect movie. Like, it's going to be the first domino, and all the rest of everything's going to get traded now. Like, we thought that it was going to be Butler or Fox was going to be the first domino of the trade deadline. I think this is going to be the first one. This is going to scare people into making trades. What's the trade deadline? Is it the 4th or is it the 6th?
Isn't it? I thought it was like the 8th or something. I don't know.
I can't remember. I might be getting that confused with something else. No, the 4th I think is the Super Bowl.
That sounds right. But like, I mean,
so wrong. Today's the 2nd. It's not the 4th. Super Bowl the 9th.
Yeah. Jesus.
I was like, it's already February. I was like, that's fucking wrong.
I don't know what day it is. Super Tuesday. Hopefully it's better than the last one. But it's just, now I think you'll see, I think a lot of these GMs won't make a call for players because they don't want to get like genuinely laughed at by the other team. Like, you call, be like, hey, is Luka Doncic available? Why the fuck are you even asking? Of course he's not, you idiot. Like, click. You would think that would definitely be like prohibitive on guys just making calls and inquiries. Now it's malpractice if you don't. Like, you just gotta, anybody you think you want or can get, you gotta make that call. You gotta make the call. I don't think you should take the call, but you gotta make the call. But it's nuts. Oh man.
This league.
It's not even my team. In the Celtics, I'm like, Celtics in 4. I said it last night. Like, okay, Celtics in 4. It's great, but it's the drama. The drama of it all is fucking so sweet and delicious.
No, I'm gonna be watching like every game of those teams now.
Yeah, I mean, they got their fucking doors kicked in tonight, and by that I mean the Mavs.
Yeah, the Lakers being relevant for the next few years is gonna be good too. I actually enjoy when the Lakers are actually relevant. It was fun to have a rivalry.
It's so funny.
Our only rival in the league, like, let's be real here, just because of the championships.
I don't think Miami is a legitimate rival at this point.
I mean, not once Butler's gone. Like, they're not going to compete. I mean, the Bucks haven't been a rival. We beat the brakes off of them almost every time. The Sixers
I mean,
a rival.
Once Butler's gone
in the East, like.
But if the Heat ever get like a good guy player again, I still think like that will flare up the like Celtics Heat tensions in the East. I think you got to have an Eastern rival in your own conference. I think the Heat are ours because the Bucks fucking absolute dog food to us. The Sixers are dead. Like, they're so poorly run. But yeah, it is the Lakers as the big Celtics rival. That's rooted in history. Yeah. I mean, Jesus, I just lost my train of thought there.
It's late nights. Late night
is 6:30. I mean, it was a late night last night. I was up to like 2. I couldn't sleep after I got the news.
Yeah, that kept me up until almost like 3, I think. I slept until 10 o'clock this morning. It was so bad.
I was listening to the stream last night. I was listening to Coley and Trill. It was like
Yeah, me too.
great to have.
I'm listening to that tomorrow at work. It's going to be so much. I have so many basketball podcasts to listen to at work tomorrow. I'm so happy.
Bill Simmons
Yeah.
emergency pod.
Mondays are usually a slow day for the podcast for me, and I got so many tomorrow.
It's very funny. The league is just like, the league probably popped a huge boner being like, yes, the Lakers are going to be fucking good for another decade. And the Celtics are good. Like, yes, this is the 80s all over again. And then there's just Victor Wembanyama hanging around in the corner. Like, hi, guys. This might not matter at all. Like, this might not be anything
Dude,
ever.
This is like if like the Bengals traded Burrow to the Cowboys.
Yeah, that is right. That is right.
Because he lost that championship and is not too healthy. It's just like for the league too. It's like, oh my God, like Adam Silver's like, oh my God, like the ratings are crazy now. What a good ratings boost.
I would love to see the usage or what the impression rate or whatever for social media last night at like midnight Eastern Standard. Like, it's probably hasn't been that high because Twitter is the NBA's. Like, in terms of sports, NBA dominates Twitter. Or X, whatever the fuck. But yeah, it probably is like one of the most high impression rates nights of all time.
Yeah, I feel like the NBA just has the most pros, like prominent pros that use it, which definitely helps. Like, you
They're
don't
all
see
kids.
them. Yeah, even the old heads are like KD and Bron are all on Twitter like all the time. But like it was funny even seeing like Pat Mahomes tweeting about it last night.
Yeah.
Like he was so devastated. He actually seemed like wicked pissed at first, and then kind of cooled down. I think I bet like I don't even know because he's from Texas, so I think he's a Mavericks fan.
Yeah, he's always at the Mavericks games. He's always courtside, so I'm sure he's probably not too happy about that.
Dude, but it seemed like the Mavericks org like told him to chill out because he kind of changed his tune today.
Yeah. Yeah, that, and also you have a fucking big game coming up, dude. Like, you should like focus. Cry about this after. Like, you got to
Dude,
be locked in here.
dude, he
But
doesn't
I think
have to
that
be.
he
This is just like
understands what
every
it
year.
takes. I think he understands what it takes to be in that big game. I don't think that we have to worry about him being a little excited on Twitter for a night. Like, I think he already knows what to do.
I know, but it's the appearance of it. Of course, anybody who with brains and eyeballs is like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is fine. If I was a KC fan and we did lose that, I would definitely spin zone myself into being like, this move killed our fucking killed the
Goddamn Mavericks
championship.
are the reason we lost the Super Bowl.
He's thinking about the
fucking
trade
lost
during the game.
back-to-back losers of championships, the Mavs. Yeah, man, nut ass night. I mean, the Celtics are on. We're playing the Sixers. The Sixers are up 23-18. Obviously, no Embiid out there. Yeah, we were
We're in
talking
our
about it
bad
before.
jerseys.
We were talking about it
Ugly
before.
ass ones.
Fucking Sixers plus 11.5. Easiest bet of your life. You know, that's old news at this point. Looks like it's pretty good already. Maxey, for whatever reason, loves to toast us. I don't like that.
He's just
He's
been
a good
going off
player.
in general recently.
Did you see him talking about not making the All-Star game?
Yeah, do you want to talk about the snubs? I mean, Trae Young, LaMelo.
We can do that real quick.
I mean, their
What do you
rankings
think?
just so bad in the seedings, but he's definitely snubs like impact and stats wise. That's for sure. I think they were just too low.
I'm always going to lean towards the player that has good stats and is fun to watch over like a higher seeded player. Like, I think that Tyrese probably should have been in there. I think that LaMelo definitely should have been in there. Trae Young should have been in there. The Jared Allen is a fucking all-star this year. Like, nobody wants to watch fucking Jared Allen play in an all-star game.
No, it's not. Is he? I thought it was Evan Mobley.
No, it's Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and or is it Evan Mobley and Darius
Yeah,
Garland? I think
Cody's right. It was last
Yeah.
time. It was
Jared
Allen last
Allen
time, but
was the
not
last.
this
Oh,
time.
sorry, last year.
Sorry, Evan Mobley. I do not want to watch you play basketball in the All-Star game. Like,
He's
you're
good.
not- yeah, sure. But they're really enjoyable to watch him dunk when nobody's around because it's the All-Star game. The All-Star game, like I said, it shouldn't affect your legacy at this point. I think that all NBA should be the ones that we're focusing on because the All-Star game should just be for fun. Like, if they're not going to try, just put on a show and have fun. Like, I don't care.
I mean, we were making a huge stink about, having 3 in last year. And if Derek White got snubbed, it feels like a lot of guys got axed this year. But,
I
The
mean,
LaMelo
JB got
one's
the nod off the Finals MVP. He's not even having like an All-Star year this year. Like, I love
Yeah,
JB, but it's not. This isn't his year.
Jaylen Brown, yeah, like legitimately shouldn't be in it over like LaMelo Ball or Trae Young.
no.
Oh man, but yeah, it's. I mean, he's had such a year last year that I feel like it's now this guy's. He's never not going to be on the All Star game again.
The LaMelo one's even the most egregious. I mean, I think Sabonis too, but LaMelo, like, not only is he like top 5 in points per game in the whole league, but also he was like so up there in fan voting too. So it's like not only does it just make sense to have him in it, but like he should have just been in. I think he was like the number 2 vote getter or number 1 vote getter at guards in the East.
How many votes of that are directly due to Jello's fucking heater track lighting up the internet?
I think they should have Lonzo. I think they should just have all three of them playing on a team. I think they should have 3v3 games, and it should have been the Ball brothers versus
All
the
the
Holiday brothers.
grants.
Dude, he
First
might
the
perform at
holidays, versus all the
halftime.
grants.
He could definitely perform at halftime in the All-Star game. That's so
It's
on the
gonna be-
table.
I mean, his song is about like shooting people. I don't know if you can have him like just. I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
Dude,
it's a
Kendrick's
banger.
doing the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Kendrick is like
His
a.
song's about pedophiles.
Yeah, I know that. That's also another thing. It's like he's gonna openly call somebody a pedophile on national television. Like that's fucking insane.
What's going to be wild is that like they're going to tell him, "Hey, you can't say it," but that line is so iconic, he's just not going to say it and let the crowd fucking say it.
Yeah, basically. That's the thing. Him not saying it's not going to take away from the fact everyone's thinking it.
Yeah,
Everybody in the crowd's going to say it for him. It's going to be the hardest fucking mic drop.
Drake's so like advertised too with sports in general too. It's definitely like Nike.
I do think it's like legitimately. I think Drake could have a case for like slander.
And he even go that route. He could have went that route with the lawsuit. He went the whole like UMG's gaming it route.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
didn't
but
claim
I'm
slander, which tells me that there might be some truth behind it.
No, I'm talking about. Well, that's right. But I'm talking about like when he does the song
Yeah,
on the most watched televised event every single year. Like
Some people are saying that he's suing him just so that he can't play it at the Super Bowl, so that the NFL will say, "Hey, you can't play this at the Super Bowl."
yeah, why the
They
fuck
don't
would you
wanna
want it to be played? Fuck that guy.
Yeah, they're just saying like Drake suing him so that the NFL would threaten Kendrick with a lawsuit if he played it at the Super Bowl because they don't want to get sued by Drake, and it's like the NFL doesn't give a fuck. The NFL is worth billions. Like they're like, all right, cool, we'll pay you $1 million. Like play the fucking thing. That'll get us like a couple extra million people watching it.
I mean, it's probably true the NFL doesn't want to be sued, but it is like now we're talking about like the big fish in the small pond, like Kendrick Lamar and Drake in terms of money. And Drake certainly does well for himself. He's probably approaching $1 billion, but like the NFL is deep pockets. Probably the deepest pockets for any entertainment.
The NFL is the bull shark swimming up the fucking canal, eating all the little guppies. Really, like let's be real here.
Well, I mean, what do we think of? Have any of you watched any of the Celtics game?
No, I don't have a TV in this room.
Okay, well, we're gonna wrap it up because the Celtics are on, and but they're up. They're down 29-21 at the end of the first.
Hey, this might
Jackson's
be a
at
game
the
I can turn off at halftime and go to bed.
Yeah, seriously, I'm supposed to be in bed by 9:30 tonight because I got a Whoop watch. So it's like,
is it all right?
yeah, it's sick. It's like right up my alley because it tracks every fucking sort of like metric that's like your heart rate value is X, Y, and Z, and I'm just like I'm a stat nerd. I'm like, sick. I'm keeping my stats, but I do like it. It does tell you like actual helpful things about trends, but
You didn't have to tell us you're a stat nerd. You're an NBA fan.
that's true.
Pretty redundant.
NBA has like the most stats out of any league, I think.
It's us in
Maybe
baseball. Yeah, I was gonna say it's us in baseball for sure.
Baseball, I feel like when it comes to like NBA is like the cool guy stat nerds, but like baseball is the sicko stat nerds. You're a real fucking sick puppy if you're a guy who like goes to the games with the paper fucking sheet.
Dude, it's so similar to. I remember seeing the Jam Packard tweet where he was like complaining. Oh, he was complaining about NBA like stat reaction type sensationalism where everyone's like, come on, man. In other sports like baseball, they're not like complaining that they're hitting too many home runs. Like, why do they complain about them shooting too many threes in the
Please.
NBA. Like, come on. And then everyone's like, buddy, they do. That's actually one of the biggest complaints about baseball now is the strikeout percentage and everyone whiffing and trying to go for the big home run every at bat. It's kind of like
That's true.
actually, it's like kind of like one of the bigger, like cynical MLB things. It's like they're very similar in that way.
Yeah, the league has gone full Crush Davis, batting 210 with 50 home runs.
Dude,
It was fun to watch swing the bat, though. I tell you what.
I was getting
I
mad
mean, yeah,
too.
it was either a home run or a fucking whiff.
Dude, LA is so spoiled. They've had this baseball offseason and then this Luka thing.
Yeah, that's
Like
pretty
the
wild.
Dodgers basically have every star in the MLB now, and then they also just got Luka, who's 25.
And the Clippers just got a new arena, and they're not half bad either.
No, they just got Kawhi back, and they have the most improved player.
Paul George?
Yeah. No, the least improved, the biggest downfall.
Paul George not playing tonight, by the way. Celtics still losing.
Well, that would have hurt their case. Honestly, I think we would have be winning if they. That just like goes to the point of us. That just goes to the point of us playing worse against worse competition. It's like Paul George is not even playing tonight. We don't have to try.
Well, anything else going on in your boys' lives that you want to talk about?
Just same shit, bigger pile.
Yeah, I mean, if there is another, I can't imagine there's another bomb like on this level that would require a podcast to occur within a day of it. But if there is, we'll cover it. But
Yeah, now we truly never know.
yeah, we never know. Now we're on. Now it's like, okay, what's the next thing? And the next thing's gonna be like Norm Powell gets traded for like 3 seconds, and fucking like Jared Clarkson, or what's his name, Jordan Clarkson.
Yes, nothing will hit as hard. That's for sure. It'll be a come down.
Nope. And I mean, the Celtics still clicking along. That's good. Still in second place. The Cavs destroyed the Mavs, so the Cavs are back. That's not good.
Well, the Mavs didn't play anybody. That's one of those games where it's like, all right, it's one of those games that you wish the Celtics would have.
I know, but they're on a bit of a streak here, a win streak, I think, right?
The Knicks
Yeah.
at least blew it last night with an 8
Yeah,
versus an
back-to-back.
80-less. The Knicks didn't even beat an 80-less Lakers yesterday.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they got
shit.
smashed by the
Yeah, but
Lakers.
LeBron popped off.
Yeah.
Wizards are off the schneid.
Yeah, Cavs have won 4 in a row.
I was seeing people say that like the Wizards win broke the league.
Yeah, they lost 16 straight. And they finally won, and then all of a sudden Luka got traded to the fucking Lakers.
It's very funny because I'm looking at the East standings right now, and it's like the Hawks have lost their last 8. That's like the worst streak in the East right now. And the Hornets are like L4, the Nets are win 1, Raptors win 1, and the Wizards are win 1, and 7 wins.
They have 2 different 16-game losing streaks this year. And last year, Kyle Kuzma was tweeting about, like sometimes at this point, it's like, don't be that team to lose to the fucking Nets or whoever was on that terrible streak last year.
It was
Oh,
the Pistons, I think.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the Pistons. Yeah, and he's like, at this point, it's like, don't be that team. It's like, yeah, the Pistons right now have almost a 500 record, and the fucking the Wizards have back-to-back 16-game losing streaks.
It's like the happiest Pistons fans have been in a decade.
They deserve it after all the bullshit they've been through in the last decade.
Yeah.
You were trying to root for Andre Drummond being your number 1 option for a long time.
The original Twin Towers, Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond.
Big Moose. I miss Big Moose.
Yeah, I mean, the Pistons, who knows what they do. If I'm the Spurs, do I call for see if Cade's available?
At this point, call everybody.
I mean, I think you gotta try it.
I think Danny Ainge has probably made 29 phone calls since he found out that Luka deal was going to drop.
He's such a fucking crackhead. He had to get in on this trade. He just had to have that second pick. And Jalen Hood-Schifino, he had to be in it. But it'll be a really funny footnote in like 25 years. Be like, what was the third team in the famous Luka Doncic 3-team trade deal with the Lakers and the Mavs? Or like, who was the player to be involved in that sent to the Utah Jazz? That's a great trivia question. But yeah, that's it from us. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Adios.
Peace.
Go Seas.